Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Find Music. This is a very special episode I'm doing on my own because I visited Pat Kennedy's channel, Close to the Edge. We did a best of the 90s, picking one album from every year. And I'll have to put that link somewhere down below. But anybody watching the show saw I chose 4 of my 10 years picks were the Charlatans. So obviously the Charlatans, for me, are my favorite band for the past 35 years, narrowly beating out Dead Can Dance and Nine Inch Nails. I almost said 10. So what I'd like to do in this video is give you a guide to the Charlatans albums. I'm going to rank them, all 13 of them. And the 14th one's coming out soon on my birthday, Halloween. I'm looking forward to that. So let's get started. I'll bring out the torture device, but it's going to be very gentle this time because I don't think I can play any of the music. They're too successful. All right, share time. Here we go. So their first album is from 1990, Some Friendly, and it just so happens to be my number one pick because this is the original template. Every single one of these songs definitely broke ground. A lot of people say they got their ideas from the Stone Roses. Well, if they did, they took it several steps farther, right? The hit everybody knows is the only one I know. But, well, these are all good. In fact, the one that I heard first on the radio was Opportunity. That's the long track, even longer than the last track, which is track number 10, which is Sproston Green. In my download, it just says track number 10. I don't know why, but it's Sproston Green. Okay, so Opportunity really turned me on to this group, and the reason it turned me on to this group is because this is a band with one foot very heavily in the 60s and 70s. That organ sound from that time is here, along with the more modern sounds. And so it was just for my 30-year-old self, back in 1990, this was just lit up my ears. It was fresh and familiar at the same time. And all of these have been favorites of mine for one reason or another. For example, Then is also a song by Yes, but these are two totally different songs. But it's fun to compare the two similarities, differences, because they are both wonderful songs. And I think they were both singles. Didn't do much in the United States. Charlatans never have. They're really big in England, though. And others are just delights, like Polar Bear. I think you're listening to a real polar bear there. No, not a real polar bear, just an electronic one. And Flower is a delightful song. Even You're Not Very Well and White Shirt. I'm naming all the songs in the album because this definitely got the highest rating, right? 10 out of 10. So let's move on. In order for me to move on, I'm gonna have to stop the share, I think, unless I can just do this. I think I can just do this because I'm still in the same window. When they originally came out, right, they were the Charlatans, but in the US, there was already a band called the Charlatans back in the late 60s, so they had to be called the Charlatans UK. And that went on for about 20 years, and then they finally dropped it. So, what's number 2 on my list, right? This is recommendations. I have to go to the 2004 album, Up at the Lake. There it is. Now, this one was never released in the United States. It's only available as an import. And it's my second favorite Charlatans album. It's, again, top to bottom, great songs. Well, there's one song they added on. I'll Sing a Hymn that was added on, so it's not quite up to snuff with the other songs. I'll say that much. But Up at the Lake is one of my favorite Charlatan songs. But another one, of course, is on this album. is Loving You Is Easy. Oh, that's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous song. I think Try Again Today was a single, or Apples and Oranges, maybe both. They're great songs. And even the short 2 minute song at the very end, Dead Love, is great for the ears. Sonically pleasing, okay? Let's leave it at that. Uh, I was also into High Up Your Tree for a while. Bonafide Treasure, Cry Yourself to Sleep, As I Watch You in Disbelief, Feel the Pressure. They all have their. In fact, Feel the Pressure, when I listened to it, I thought it said Feel Depression. Feel the pressure. Feel the pressure. I don't know, it's kind of similar in sound. So I misheard it initially. So that's definitely my number two album. If you can find it, get it. It is a pop masterpiece. And this is a good time to bring up the fact that virtually every Charlatans album has a different wrinkle to it. Like that first album is very danceable, Britpop, the Manchester sound, right? But this album, Up at the Lake, is pure pop. It really is pure pop. Got some rock, of course. So say pure pop rock? I don't know. That doesn't quite sound right. But it's a great album. Okay, leave it at that. All right. Let's see. What's my number three pick? Oh yeah, the second album. That's way up here, between 10th and 11th. There it is, the Banana album. You might remember me saying that in the show because that's the obvious identifier for this album. Now, this second album, Charlatans evolved their sound, and this one's far quirkier. Got some really interesting songs that you just don't expect. Possibly, that's very hard to say what the best song is on this album. They're all so good, but Page One might be the best song. Tremolo song might be the best song. My favorite is Subtitle. That really took me for surprise. And Weirdo was a single. I think Can't Even Be Bothered. Was that a single too? I don't know. It's a great finish to this album with Chewing Gum Weekend and No One Not Even the Rain that really flows. The last two songs, great flow. Have I forgotten to mention, yeah, Ignition is a great song. I mean, I Don't Want to See the Sights is good too. And the end of everything is kind of like Opportunity Part Two. So that might be the most conventional song on the album, but it's a great album. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with first. Really, the first three Charlatans albums are just near perfect. And to prove my point, the third album is my fourth choice. It's called Up to Our Hips. There it is, right next to Up at the Lake. Up to Our Hips, 1994. First album, 1990. Second album, 1992. Third album, 1994. This has a phenomenal opening song. Come in number 21 is one of their best songs. Can't Get Out of Bed, I believe, was a single. Feel Flows is a great instrumental, really danceable. Jesus Hairdo, I think, was a single. It should have been. It's a great song. Up to Our Hips lives up to its title. Patrol, probably the most danceable song on the record when it's close to Feel Flows is an instrumental. Patrol, wow, it's just perfect. And it has another great finish here. This finishes Another Rider Up in Flames and Inside Looking Out, which is just, it's a little more mid-tempo. Not a crescendo. It's more of a ride out. It really is. So Autograph's a great song. I just got to mention them all. I Never Want an Easy Life if Me and He Were Ever to Get There. There's a title for you. All good. All good. Like I said, these first three albums, near perfect, all three, including the 2004 Up at the Lake. Those four albums, near perfect. Okay, so see what happens. If I'm reading this correctly. I wrote this down. I can show you. Yes, the man of copious notes. There I am. All right, so number 5. Oh yeah, from 1999, Us and Us Only. It's right there in front of me. This album, if I haven't said it already, there every album is a little bit different. Like Up to Our Hips was more danceable, but there's another album comes later, Wonderland, which is their most danceable album. Us and Us Only is different because it's kind of like they're doing Dylan, they're doing country, and it rocks. Like I said on the show, Forever could possibly be their best song. They must know it. It's a 7 minute epic. It's really fantastic. But there are good songs on here too, and they've done some reworkings of some of these songs, like Impossible, The House Is Not a Home, My Beautiful Friend. That one has is good in both tempos. So it was a single, I believe. And yeah, it's just every song is good. Uh, Watching You is a great closer. It's an epic closer, right? Almost 9 minutes. Just fabulous, just fabulous. This album is definitely different than the other Charlatans albums. Like I said before, it's not the place to start. But if you're a Charlatans fan, you are going to like it. Yeah. All right. What's next on the list? What's next on the list here? By the way, these first five albums all had pretty much perfect tens. Number six, You Crossed My Path. Yeah, that came out in 2008. It's kind of interesting. Alphabetically last. Now, when this album was released, it was a free album. You could download it for free. And I did. But I've since downloaded, the higher quality remix. So anyway, this album, all 10 songs, they're great. Oh, Vanity was a great single. Bad Days right behind it. Mistakes, Misbegotten, A Day for Letting Go is very melancholy. You Cross My Path is a really high energy song. It might be the best song on the album. Missing Beats of a Generation is kind of a clue into what's going to happen a few years. Oh no, what happened before? That's right. It's not a clue. It's a remnant, maybe, because 2006's album, Simpatico, was kind of their reggae album. So this song, Missing Beats of a Generation, kind of has that flavor too. My Name is Despair lives up to its title. This is the end. Feels like they've said that before, but this one's good too. And there's even bonus cuts here. Bonus cut Acid in the Tea. So refreshingly different than anything they've ever done. That might be my second favorite song on the album. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm really digging these albums. Let's go to number 7 out of 13. Telling Stories. Oh yeah, and there's a story behind that album too. Telling Stories. There it is. I have the live album too. Came out in 1997. Okay, so that was 3 years after the fourth album, which I haven't talked about. It's actually my least favorite, but this one is very good. It's just a notch below the other 5 or 6 albums. Uh, it's the bonus cuts. I mean, I think it originally had 10 songs, and it's been kind of reworked. But you start at the top with No Shoes, great song. North Country Boy, huge hit in England. Telling Stories might be the best song on the album. One to Another, #1 hit in England. Deservedly so. You're a Big Girl Now, very pleasant song. How Can You Leave Us? Kind of alluding to the reason this album took 3 years to make is because their keyboardist died in an auto accident. So I had to find someone to replace him, and they did find Martin Blunt. Uh, I love the instrumental Area 51, and How High is definitely one of the top 3 songs on this album. After that, though, things kind of go downhill, right? This is bonus land, and Rob's theme is an instrumental. Maybe the last thing he recorded. It's good. And Two of Us, actually, I think it was a single they tacked on here. It's a great single. Right, so there's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of good stuff. That's why it's number 7. All right, let's go to number 8. I love this album too, Wonderland. This one is their LA album. Okay, so it's really like in the clubs, danceable. But there's, the Charlatans are always doing intelligent music. So here it is. Real emphasis on the dance here. We have Love is the Key was a single. You're So Pretty, We're So Pretty. I think it was a single too. Maybe even Judas was a single. Those first three songs are just Dance City. You go through those first three songs and you'll notice something different about this album. The different thing about this album is that the lead singer is using a falsetto voice most of the time in this album. So he was changing things up too. I think he dyed his hair blonde around this time. And maybe one of my favorites, and I think just about everybody's favorite on this album is A Man Needs to Be Told, right? It's a ballad for lack of, it's a slow one. And The Bell and the Butterflies instrumental. And then a very solid finish to this album. And If I Fell, Wake Up, Is It In You, Ballad of the Band. These are more regular songs, right? Is It In You? I always liked that one. And If I Fell is kind of, gentle. So, Ballad of the Band, surprisingly good, right? It's definitely makes me think of Matahupo had Ballad of the Matahupo, right? So this is Ballad of the Band. So it really fits. Great album. I mean, we're up to 8, and all these albums are great. So we go to number 9 out of 13 and get the first crack in the armor. Simpatico from 2006. This one I told you about is a reggae flavored album. Let's see. Oh, it's just hiding there. Come on down. Here it is. So Simpatico is really solid up until the end. It's like the Charlatans always front load their albums with the best songs, and that can go on for quite a few songs. Like here, oh, the first 8 songs are solid. Then they have the instrumental, The Architect, and Glory, Glory is the weakest song on the album. Sunset and Vine is another instrumental, so that's one too many. And they don't hold a candle to their previous instrumentals. But you look at the top of the order here, you got Black and Blue Eyes, single, fantastic. It's kind of a dance remnant. New York City, There's No Need to Stop. Yeah, that's pretty catchy too. For Your Entertainment, it just gets under your skin. It's really good. It has a great use of the phrase "for your entertainment." You'll listen to the song, you'll agree with me, I'm sure. These other songs are simpler, all right? They went for a simpler sound: Dead Man's Eye, Muddy Ground, City of the Dead, and Road to Paradise. And even When the Lights Go Out in London, all of those are simpler. They're trying to follow the groove, So they're good songs. They grow on you. Muddy Ground grew on me. City of the Dead, not quite as much. Road to Paradise, probably the most reggae of all the songs on the album. When the Lights Go Out in London, probably the poppiest. There you have number 9. Okay, we're going downhill. Number 10, When Who We Touch, came out in 2010. And this album, for me, get down there. W is Who. Oh, I passed it. There it is. You were there. Come on. There we go. Who We Touch. Now, this is loaded with bonus tracks. Probably making up for the fact that only the first 7 songs are phenomenal. That's right. Only the first 7 are phenomenal. The rest are not as good. When I Wonder kind of goes downhill. Oh, this is patented. And You Can Swim is a sound experiment with hidden tracks. So it's really quirky in the vibe of this album. Right? This album is a little bit soulful. Not as soulful as Wonderland, but it's kind of going all over the map, really. Love is Ending, classic Charlatan single, My Foolish Pride, up-tempo ballad. There, I found a term. Up-tempo ballad. Yeah. Your Pure Soul. is pure. It really is. Simple song, but great song. Smash the System. Pretty lively. Intimacy and Sincerity and Trust and Desire are the three best songs in this album. They really are phenomenal songs. They grow on you like a fungus and they stay there. That's really Intimacy, Sincerity, Trust and Desire. They're the best. Okay. Well, we're down to the final three. Number 11. I have to switch back over because this was the point where they gave up on the UK in the name. Yeah, there it is. So there was a lag of about 5 years from that album. 2015, Modern Nature came out. And as always, the Charlatans have several single quality songs that were singles, Talking in Tones, Solo, Come Home Baby. Fantastic. Emily, I believe also single. Fantastic. Let the Good Times Be Never Ending has the joy that you had in the early days with the band. It's really a joyful song. That's why it goes on for 6 minutes. Those are the best songs on the album. The others, not as good. But those songs, if you think, how many songs is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs is worth the cost of an album? I say yes. And this is their 11th best album. We head now to their 12th out of 13. It's right upstairs, Different Days. I think the band is running out of gas here, right? They're getting older, for one thing. They've been doing this for almost 30 years at this point. Different Days, 2017. And the Different Days for me really only has 3 great songs. So it's a bit of a come down for me, but they're great songs. Don't get me wrong. Different Days, love it. Plastic Machinery, love it. Let's Go Together has that same good vibe, like Let the Good Times Be Never Ending. So this one was barely worth the cost. Maybe if you can find a way to get those singles. Different Days, Plastic Machinery, Let's Go Together. Those are the best. All right. Are we at number 13? Did I say that correctly? Yes, we are. Now, this album is from 19, what am I saying? 19. Yeah, 1995. There we go. Is that right? Yeah. So this album, I think they were trying to be like the Rolling Stones, and it didn't work. Let me get to it. It's a self-titled album. In fact, I don't have the album. That's how much I don't like it. So I relied on the live material to get those songs. I mean, I think it's right here. This is kind of in chronological order. So you've got, do you? I'm looking for 'em. There's one really great song on that album, one so-so, and the rest I just didn't care for. Well, let me try one other live album, the Telling Stories live album. Maybe it's on there. Closer chronologically. Here we go. Looking for that song. Yeah, just when you're thinking things over, that's the okay one. Here Comes the Soul Saver. Yeah, that's good too. Hard for me to decide which is better, but the sound here was just it was too subtle for my taste. And so the album just really didn't work for me. I skipped it over pretty much, except for, a couple of the best songs on a live album and the greatest hits. Well, that's my ranking for the Charlatans. So there's a excuse me. Nothing else for me to say, but if you see a Charlatans album, especially from the first 30 years, buy it because they're great. My favorite band of the last 35 years. And I'm really looking forward to my birthday. You know why? The new album, I think it's called We Are Love. So the single is currently on YouTube, so you can check it out. And like I said, I didn't play any of these songs because I didn't want to get in trouble. But I was so glad to share with you this band. They're just not well enough known in America, and they really deserve more because they are excellent songsmiths. Tim Burgess is their principal songwriter, and he is a prolific songmaker. He really is. He just comes up with all kinds of new wrinkles, styles he's willing to explore. I hope you like him. All right, that's it for now. See you on Monday with the gang. Woo-hoo.